Everybody, Juno 2000 here, coming at you with more movie reviews. And yep, hope everybody's having a good day. Everybody's having a good President Day weekend. But yeah, doing good, folks. And I know I have done a video about two parts. One about movie review on Saw 3D and then 8 Halloween H2O. So those were like in the list of movies that people that do you feel like that they were intended to be the final sequel, that they were great, and those were the two most voted. And of course I have the two most least voted ones on the list that I put like on the poll for it, which I have them here. One will be part one and one will be part two. But yeah, how's everybody doing good, folks. Yeah. And my first review will be kind of a slight rant, but review of Jason Goes to Hell, which was the third one that was the least voted. And yeah, Jason Goes to Hell. I have a lot of problems with this movie. Of course, the main issue with the movie, they killed the way they kill off Jason, which was a bit of a half-ass and a bit of a stupid decision that they made. Like, all in all, I kind of wish they went with the Jason takes LA plan. I wish they went with that plan where he goes and takes LA. It might be stupid and cheesy, but it would have been better than this story. Like him in LA killing a bunch of gangbangers and going to war with them. That would have been really cool. This movie, I do like some of the gore in it. I do like some of the special effects, like kills in it. But it is a lackluster movie to rewatch. And when I rank all the Friday 13 movies, this is easily gonna be my least favorite. Even though I did grow up watching this one as a kid, because my dad used to have this one on VHS, and I remember not minding it. It's just when I got older, I started noticing why people shit on this movie, because Jason gets killed like first 5 minutes, and then he's reading back like the last 10 minutes of the film. I know it is supposed to be different, but I don't know why they did that. Where they kill him off in the first 5 minutes after he chases his lady and stuff from the cabin, and then he gets ambushed by this SWAT group, and Jason gets shot a lot from the stomach, head to blow, and he gets exploded too. And he starts making these weird grunting noises, like so strange because we never hear Jason do that noise. And of course, this is supposed to be like nothing to get connects from the Friday 13th sequels or something, because it didn't even connect it to Jason Takes Manhattan, how that movie ended. But yeah, he gets exploded, and then he gets examined by this morgue dude that is examining his dead body, his dead carcass, and then of course his heart starts beating. It goes beep 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 beep, and it starts memorizing the morgue dude's head, and he starts eating a chunk out of it, which was the most disgusting scene in a slasher film. Like, it is the most gross scene to watch. Like, it's more extended in the unrated cut, where he's like taking a huge chunk and eating out of it, and even like vomits some black blood substance, of course, because that is Jason's blood. His blood is black and gooey because he's dead. But he starts like vomiting this black substance, which is pretty disgusting. But all in all, he gets possessed by Jason's soul because some stuff even comes out of Jason's dead body, like these flashy, floating light things. And yeah, it's pretty weird and bizarre to how this freaking movie starts up. But all in all, this movie does have some pretty gory kills. When he kills that morgue, he kills another morgue dude that goes into the room and pretty much curses out Jason, and then boom, grabs the morgue dude and pushes his face through like the metal rack of the stall and punctures his head with big needles. And yeah, it's a pretty gory kill. And he goes out, makes his escape, and he kills Kane Hodder, who's playing like a security guard. That's what we call it. Which is funny. He's playing Jason, and he plays a security guard that's just like shitting on Jason. Well, you don't get his kill on screen. It's just an off-screen kill. But all in all, he makes his rampage. He kills more teenagers and all that stuff. With the morgue dude body being possessed by Jason's soul for some reason. Does really brutal kills, of course. He kills this couple where they're like in the tent, and then boom, he has like this iron thing, that metal thing sign punctures the girl in the chest to the stomach, and boom, slicing in half gruesomely. Good kill. And of course, he possesses this dude, this cop dude, and it's the most weird ass part where he's like shaving him, and then he's like shaving him, which is the most bizarre scene of the movie. And yeah, the movie just goes weird. He transfers his soul into that dude's body, and this movie just goes weird as hell. Like, this movie doesn't make any sense at times. Like, what is going on with this movie? It keeps going on and on about transferring souls into Jason's soul into people's dead bodies, and then when they leave, their dead body disappears or something. Especially when we see what happens to that cop dude that he transfers into a reporter dude's body. His body starts melting like the thing. It just starts going melty, like his skin starts falling off. His chin, jaw starts falling off. Really gruesome effects. But on it still does the transfer soul thing, and then of course one of the characters that gets killed in the rampage is one of Jason's sisters. That's like a normal character in the movie. Who's like the sibling of Jason Voorhees. And one leads to another. Jason Voorhees is trying to like come back. But he kills more people rampaging through the police station, killing more cops, and then going to the diner and killing more people at the diner, breaking a dude's arm, pushing a guy's face into a grilled oil and stuff that's burning his face up really gruesomely, elbowing some lady that keeps cussing at him. Get the hell off, you piece of shit. And boom, he elbows her in the mouth. Her mouth is all caved in. Which is a pretty funny part that made me laugh. Like this, the crunch and the sound effects with now you see her face like all caved in, like with a funny looking face. But all in all, this movie just goes more weird. And then you have some guy that is possessed by Kane. I mean, possessed by Jason. And this is the only time that Jason speaks, which kind of destroys the illusion of Jason being quiet and not saying anything. Which it is kind of stupid. Like, why did they do this? Like, they made him speak. It's like the same thing with Michael Myers. They did that in Rob Zombie's Halloween, too. They did that stupid stuff where they, in the director's cut, they had him speak at the end. It kind of destroyed the myth of Jason in this movie. Like, oh man, he never spoke. It's bad enough the filmmakers didn't even know how to write the word Voorhees right on the front, like, because there's a sign that says Voorhees in front of the Jason's family's house. They didn't even spell it right. It was all misspelled. And all in all, they have this bounty hunter named Drayton Duke, which they said this character was originally supposed to have like a backstory with Jason, but they didn't even do nothing with that. They just randomly put this character in that he knew Jason, but there was a backstory that was going to happen in this movie, but they just cut it out for some reason, which kind of defeats the purpose of why the character's there. Because like that character trait should have been like Tommy Gyrus from the previous Friday 13 movies. Like he's the one that had wars with Jason. Like that should have been Tommy Jarvis' role. But all in all, just they just went with this Drayden Duke guy, and they have him say like the most weirdest stuff. You know, she hasn't have a taste with the Duke. Oh, I know about Jason. I remember. It's like a hot dog and a pretty girl in a big pink dress. It's the most weird ass lines that they have the characters say. Like, very bizarre. But they have no connection because they didn't put no backstory for the character. Why he knows Jason. And then he's part of the ending where he does have a showdown with Jason, but Jason breaks his back and kills him. After Jason, before that, why he came back and why he's in the last 10 minutes of the movie, it's because the cop that is possessed with Jason's body, he gets his head decapitated, and then a big, huge slug monster of Jason comes out of his head, and it crawls into like the basement, and it finds his dead sister's body. So he goes inside of his dead sister, and it reincarnates Jason fully developed. Like, and what's the weird thing is that he still has the same clothes that got blown up in the beginning of the film. Like that is very bizarre. Like, how did he get the clothes? The clothes was destroyed in the explosion at the beginning of the film. Like his whole body got exploded. And how did he get the mask back? That was bizarre too. The head was at the morgue with the mask on. And the movie just doesn't make any sense at all. And on, it's just the movie's fucking dumb. I just don't like this movie. At times, it's really boring too. Like it doesn't have a good pace like the other previous Friday films. Like it doesn't have a good pace. It does have a sluggish pacing issue that just gets you bored and tired of watching. I'm like, this is supposed to be a Friday movie without Jason. Like, where the heck is Jason? People that are possessing him were just like, they're the ones that are killing people in the movie, not Jason. Like, where is he? Until like the last 10 minutes, he gets that slug out of his head, and then he goes into his sister's body, and it reincarnates as a fully developed Jason. And it's weird that he has his clothes and his mask on because that stuff was destroyed. But I don't know. The movie has a battle with this lead character, which I think his name is John. The actor's name is John D. LeMay. I think he was also in the Friday TV show, which that show didn't have nothing with Jason. It was just a TV show that used the Friday 13 name that was released by Paramount. But I think he was like one of the characters. I think he started in that show, but he would be the lead in this movie. His character isn't bad. Like I did like the lead in the movie because I don't know, just it's kind of different when you got a guy as the lead, and it's like already takes a back like when it takes a backseat from the final girls being like the final girl to fight the villain. I always appreciate when it's a guy. It's like giving them their turn. because I think it's underrated when it's a guy that's facing the killer at the end. Like, it's cool at times when some of the female does it, but a lot of times it's gonna get boring as shit because it's gonna be the same thing, same thing. So come on, let's just have a guy showdown against the villain. And I always think it's underrated. It's like how Kurt Russell was the hero lead in The Thing. But yeah, this movie does have a pretty vicious fight with the lead character and Jason. They fight like in the jungle gym, and then they go and brawl outside the house. And then Jason gets a dagger stabbed into his chest. And the book of the dead from Evil Dead is in it, so it's supposed to have like a connection with Evil Dead, the Sam Raimi movies of Evil Dead, because not Book of Dead, I mean the Necronomicon, which is the Book of the Dead that's in Evil Dead movie. And all in all, you get like this really weird part where the ground starts opening from hell, and these big hairy monster hands are grabbing Jason and dragging him into the ground, taking his face first, and then boom, he's like buried into and taken into hell, like as they call it, the title of the movie, Jason Goes to Hell. This time, Jason is not coming. Oh, it doesn't have the line on, but this time Jason is not coming back, and he's going to hell forever. Evil has finally found home. Oh, I thought, but yeah, the movie isn't bad. And then of course, after they have the fight and they survive, the lead and his wife character, Jason's mask is like left coming. It's coming out of the ground, like being unburied, until boom, a big hand comes out and it's Freddy Krueger's claws, and he grabs the mask and he's like dragging it into the ground, which is a tease of Freddy vs. Jason. What's gonna happen? Because Freddy vs. Jason was originally supposed to be in 1987. That was supposed to happen, but Paramount and New Line couldn't get like an agreement to like make the movie, so the movie went into development for years and years, with many different scripts going on. One script was gonna have Pinhead from Hellraiser appear at the end of the film, which would have teased like a second film that he was gonna be in it. And there was another script where Ash from Evil Dead, Ash Williams from Evil Dead, was going to be in one of the scripts from Freddy vs. Jason. Which originally was that was actually the fight. It was actually Ash was actually in the he was actually the third person that would fight. He was fighting Freddy vs. Jason before Freddy vs. Jason was a thing. But yeah, they couldn't agree. They had to change that script, and then they went through a lot of different scripts. Like there was gonna be one with a bunch of cult members that are supporters of Freddy Krueger. They're like cult Freddy Krueger members. There was one where they were gonna be like boxing ring in hell, and Hitler and all the bad evil people were gonna be in the crowd. Like it's just weird scripts that went in and out. I think the one with Pinhead would have been really cool, because that would have been a really cool way to end the movie, where Pinhead like appears at the end, which would have set up to a second film, and even get Pinhead more screen time than the Hellraiser movies. Because the only Hellraiser movie I feel like Pinhead gets more screen time is the third film. And surprisingly, it's not the original movie, because Pinhead only has like 5 or 6 minutes of screen time in the first film. But in the third movie, he has more screen time. And then when he gets this after those later films, they get terrible, and Pinhead's barely in it. But all in all, that would have been really cool with Pinhead appearing at the end of Jason Goes Freddy vs. Jason. But yeah, Jason Goes to Hell. It's a bit of a rant because it's kind of a boring movie and a slog to get through. And all in all, Yeah, of course, the filmmakers didn't want the Jason character because, of course, Sean F. Cunningham, he's a because he doesn't care about the Jason movies because he thinks they were successful because he directed the first movie, which I could see why, but he goes on to like, oh, because he shits on the mask, like, oh, why it made it a success of Jason being a great character, and so that's why the director kissed the filmmaker's ass and made this movie, and that's what happened in Jason Goes to Hell. They kill out Jason in the first 5 minutes. I could see why it's a little different, but it is a slog to get through in the movie. Every time when I rank a movie, this is gonna be my least favorite when I rank the Jason films, Friday films, whatever they want to call them. This is my least favorite because it is a slog to get through, but it is a brutal film, and it does have brutal effects. And I did like the lead character in the movie. It's cool that you have a guy as a lead, not the same usual final girls trope. And of course, I prefer to watch this over Halloween Ends. And people want to say the Halloween Ends is different. No, this one's more different, and this is more watchable. Even though it's a slog to get through, it's more watchable. Because at least, you know what? At least you get Jason for 15 minutes than Michael Myers getting killed for like 7 minutes of boring screen time where he's just in the sewer for the whole time. But all in all, this movie is not that bad. I even have a poster of the film too. That's the poster right there. And all in all, this movie, it's not a bad film. It's just, it is kind of a slog to get through, but all in all, an alright film. But definitely my least favorite Friday 13 film in the series. Have a good day, everybody.